I'm Amelia. I've changed tens of thousands of nappies. I've worked in long day care, childcare. I've been as a nanny. I've got my own kids. I've changed lots and lots of nappies. Today I'm going to run you through, try and clear up a little bit some of the confusion around modern cloth nappies. If any of you have started to look into it, it can be overwhelming. The amount of information, the different types, the styles, some of the words that are used, it can be bamboozling. To start off with, I've actually got something to give away. This is one of our change mats, or super handy baby mats. The first person to tell me how many disposable nappies in Australia are thrown into landfill each year will win our change mat. So shout them out. Lots more than 8,000. More than 200,000, sorry? More than 1 million? More than 5 million? More than 1 billion. So in Australia alone, where we have quite a small population, more than 1 billion disposable nappies are sent to landfill every single year, and they often last for hundreds of years. So that's a bit scary when you think of them all just piling up on top of each other and creating a whole lot of mess. Good news is it's not an either-or with the old-fashioned terry toweling flats, enormous lots of folding and pins and all of that sort of palaver. There is something in between now. It's simple to use as a disposable, but you throw it into the washing machine instead of the rubbish bin. I'm going to run you through some of the more popular types of them today. There are other options, and if you've got any questions, please shout them out. I'll describe everything I've got here, and then I'll just get you to ask me some questions if there's anything in particular you're wondering about. So within modern cloth nappies, you can get sized nappies, tiny little ones like this. This is an example of a newborn nappy. Or you can get one-size nappies that fit often from birth or very soon after, all the way through to potty training. Within both of those options, there are different styles that are quite popular. Essentially, you want something that's waterproof, you want something that keeps the baby feeling dry and comfortable, and you want something that's absorbent enough that it's not going to leak before you're changing it. You can get, this is an example of what's called a pocket nappy. It's waterproof on the outside, it's got a cute print on the outside, so it looks fun too. It's got a stay dry layer on the inside. This one here is called suede cloth. It washes up super well without needing harsh chemicals or bleaches or anything like that to keep it looking clean. What makes it a pocket nappy is the fact that the absorbency literally stuffs down a pocket inside the nappy. So you can adjust how much absorbency you put inside the nappy when you're preparing it for use. This particular one is using a few layers of a bamboo fabric, a bamboo blended fabric. So bamboo is much more absorbent than just cotton by itself. It's better for the environment, but being more absorbent means that you can have a lot less fabric, so that makes the nappy much more comfortable. So you don't have the big bubble bottoms that the old-fashioned terry flats used to have, so they're more comfortable for the baby. It also means they're more reliable, so they'll last longer without leaking for you. That's an example of one of the modern fabrics that are used these days to help make it all easier for you. This nappy here uses Velcro to be done up with. Velcro or snaps are the two most popular options for fixing the nappy on these days. They have different pros and cons. So Velcro is super simple to do up. That's its major pro. Potentially a con of the Velcro is that sometimes it sticks to other things, or as they get older, they can start to take it off themselves easily once they figure out that that gets a lot of attention from mum and dad. But it's easier to do up. So this one is an all-in-two or a hybrid nappy. So the outside is, again, waterproof. This one is a minky one, so it's a little bit furry. And again, it's got a cute print on it, so it looks fun. This one has two options for the absorbency on the inside. This one here is a washable one, same as the nappy, cloth nappies, you throw it all into the wash, which is what we're here for. Alternatively, what makes it a hybrid is that you can put a disposable insert in it instead of the cloth one. Don't know if any of you are wondering, when I first heard of this, I thought, why would you bother? If you're going to use something you're throwing away, why don't you just use a disposable nappy? A few reasons why or when you might use something like this is if the family is sick and you just haven't quite got through the washing like you normally do and you're running out, you can have some of those on hand to use for emergencies. Also, from my experience, cloth nappy companies tend to be more ethical in the manufacturing of their products. So these tend to be better for the environment and better for the baby's skin still. Even though you're still throwing something out, they biodegrade faster and they're healthier. What makes it the all-in-two is the separate absorbency fabric, and it literally just comes into two pieces. So that's why it's called an all-in-two or a snap-in nappy or something like that. The other popular style of nappy I've got here to show to you is an all-in-one. This is my personal favorite for laziness. It's called an all-in-one because it's all sewn together. So the outside is waterproof again. The inside is a stay dry layer again, washes up super well, but the absorbency is attached to the nappy, making it an all-in-one. So you don't spend time popping the absorbency into the pocket or snapping in the bits and pieces. The nappy's just ready for you to go as soon as it's off the line. Also, just pop the whole thing straight into the wash without needing to pull it apart to wash it. Different nappies will have different extra features that help make the nappies better or slightly different in different ways. This one has wriggle guards or protection guards down the sides and at the back. So it gives you a double layer of elastic edging to get a better seal, a better fit, and therefore double protection for keeping all of the stuff on the inside. When you take the nappies out and about, you can get things like wet bags. So this is a little nappy-sized wet bag. They come much larger as well, all sorts of different sizes. So when you're out and about, you can just pop your dirty nappy into there, and then they usually zip closed as well to keep the smells in too. You can just take that home and manage it once you're at home. You can also get boosters of varying sizes and fabrics and needs. So boosters add absorbency to whatever style of nappy you're using. So you might have a little one who has a long afternoon nap, so you need that nappy to last a little bit longer. So you can always just add in a bit more absorbency to whatever style of nappy you're using. Once you're trying to get out of the cloth nappies, you can get reusable training pants. Don't have to use pull-ups, which are quite expensive. You can just get reusable ones, and then you just throw those in the wash like you have been with your nappies. There are also swim nappies. When you're at the pool or the beach, don't need to use the little swimmers, just pop those on. And they often have adjustments as well for sizing and ease of getting them on and off. That's a pretty quick rundown of what I've got here. I could keep on rambling on for ages. Does anyone have any particular questions about anything? Yep, so the question was, do all-in-ones come in a one-size option so you don't have to go to a different style? Yes, they absolutely do. In a few different brands, we have one. And there are other brands out there as well also. You could go from newborn into other sized nappies as well if you prefer the sized option, or absolutely there are all-in-one options in one-size nappies too. The difference between training pants and regular undies is, I'm not sure if you can hear, there's a bit of a crinkle there, is waterproofing. Lots of sizes. I think that size would probably be quite good for her. I'm not sure exactly which size this is. There are usually a range of sizes so that they will fit down to quite small or older children. Alternatively, you can put a bit of absorbency into a regular pair of knickers. So adding something like this to a regular pair of knickers will help with catching everything that comes out. It's not going to be waterproof, so you're still probably going to have to do an outfit change, which is not necessarily... nighttime. Yeah, I don't think that you will find that something like this will be absorbent enough, nor will you be able to add enough absorbency into it for it to... If you could find a larger training pant, you might be able to get more absorbency in that will last the nights. Otherwise, I'd be more inclined to use a one-size nappy with enough absorbency in it or something like that. A benefit to using cloth nappies, particularly once it comes to training, if you put, for example, say a bamboo fabric on top, so next to their skin they've got the bamboo fabric instead of the stay dry layer, it helps them to understand a little bit more about what they're doing. So they'd be, a little bit more. It's not going to be uncomfortable for them. It's not necessarily going to give them rashes or anything. My daughter's skin preferred the bamboo to the stay dry layer, but it just helps them to understand a little bit more about what they're doing. Pleasure.
Since when they're using this training pants?
Since what stage do they start using the training pants? You need to gauge with your child when they're ready, really. They'll start to show things like they'll be interested in the potty. They may start to tell you, or you'll just notice that they're aware of when they're about to go. If you do nappy-free time sometimes, when you're not expecting them to go, they might let you know, or you can just watch them and see if they're aware before they actually have an accident, things like that. Really, you want some indicators from the child that they're ready before you start with training. It could be anything from 15, 16 months all the way through to some children are 3 when they're ready to start training. From my experience in childcare and things like that, when they're ready, it doesn't take very long, a few days. They'll have accidents, and they might have more accidents after that, but a few days of lots of accidents, and then you should be heading towards not many accidents. From my experience, they're probably not quite ready if it's taking a lot longer than that. Any other questions? Anyone wondering about washing or managing poos, or how many nappies you might need, or where can you buy them from? There's a range of different stands here at the show. There's 5 or 6 different brands. Otherwise, online, most of them will have websites online. Yes, they are. There's a range of different brands here. All of these nappies are available at the show. These training pants aren't from the show, but there is a stand doing training pants at the show called Imsy Vimsy, which are in that direction towards there. Pleasure. Yeah. So do you change reusable nappies less than disposable nappies? In my opinion, you should change them a similar amount. So you want to change the nappies every 2 to 3 hours during the day, really for hygiene reasons, rather than them actually being full. So I think you should really do both. This is my opinion and my experience. In childcare, I believe to be accredited, they need to check or change the nappy every 2 hours for hygiene reasons. So your disposable nappy or your cloth nappy could easily last longer than that. They might last slightly less, in which case you probably want to add a bit more boosting into it to change it every 2 to 3 hours to make it a reasonable period of time. But yeah, for hygiene reasons, every 2 to 3 hours for both types. How do you manage to wash it? So tip any solids into the loo. Give them a quick rinse if you can straight away before putting them into a dry bucket with a lid on for smells. And then you just tip it into the washing machine. Do a pre-rinse if they're particularly icky. Otherwise, some washing powder, turn the machine on, and then hang them out in the sun. Normal washing powder, I check with the manufacturer or your brand that you're using. We absolutely say normal washing powder. You don't want fabric softeners. You don't want bleach. Fabric softeners will leave a residue on the fabric that will repel liquid and could also be absorbed into the baby's skin as well. Bleach will deteriorate the nappy faster and is not necessary. Yeah, a regular powder. Yes, absolutely. So a 2-piece like this one or this one, they can both go straight into the washing machine. You don't need to do separate instructions for both. Some parts of the nappy, speak to the brand that does your nappies. Some of them will be able to tolerate different things. If you're feeling like you've got a stain and you want to treat it or something like that, usually stains will just sun out. So they're not really a problem with the fabrics that are used on top. But yeah, essentially all of it straight into the washing machine together. Yep, so you can use liners. So flushable liners are pretty popular these days. And so it's just a tissue paper-like material. Lay it on top of the nappy before you put it on. And then once it's soiled, just go and shake that into the loo, flush away your mess, and your nappy can go into your bucket. Another option for managing the mess is to have a little hose attached to your loo. If you can see the tap at the back of your loo, it's quite easy just to attach a little hose onto there, and then you can just hold it over the loo, give it a quick rinse, and pop it into your bucket. That's another option. My pleasure. Is that all? Thank you very much for coming to listen, everyone.